Dude, and welcome to the Dude and Sports Podcast. I'm your host, PC, and we have another great episode for you today. As you can see, it is your boy, your host here, PC, coming at you live from the Dude and Sports Podcast. Hope everybody's having a great day. I think Nick Howard was actually in the Himalayas watching the snow panther, trying to get photographs of that because he is a national or international phenom. Howard is, so he's currently busy. K-Stout, we never know where that guy's at. That 10-day contract's always been coming up for him, but it is what it is at the same time. And then Mayman from Way Out West actually is still way out west doing some stuff. He might stop by a little bit later, but that is all good to go. Let's make sure our sound is working, but it is what it is at the same time. And then Mayman from Way Out West actually is still way out west doing some stuff. He might stop by a little bit later, but that is all good to go. Let's make sure our sound is working, but it is what it is at the same time. And then Mayman from Way Out West actually is still way out west doing some stuff. Stop by a little bit later, but that is all good to go. Let's make sure our sound is working, but it is what it is at the same time. And then Mayman from Way Out West actually is still way out west doing some stuff. We're good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter little episode. Don't worry, you boys got you. Give you a little bit of content, a little bit of information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west, doing specifically. We're good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter little episode. Don't worry, you boys got you. Give you a little bit of content, a little bit of information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. We're good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter little episode. Don't worry, you boys got you. Give you a little bit of content, a little bit of information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. We're good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter little episode. Don't worry. Obviously, we always start with a little bit of content, a little bit of information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. We're good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter little episode. Don't worry. Obviously, we always start with a little bit of content, a little bit of information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Actually, still way out west. It was specifically. Good to go. A little bit. So, yeah, like I said, obviously we always start with content and information on this week's Mayman from Way Out West. Minneapolis, It's cool, but I guess I'm. I didn't realize it was going and doing that. I don't know. Does it work now? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Hello? Can you hear me? Volume. Can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Much better now, I think. My bad, folks. I didn't even know that the thing was doing that. So that's really interesting to find out, obviously. So yeah, now we're back. Thank goodness I didn't get to go over the college basketball stuff already. If you were already here for some of that stuff, my bad. Sorry, folks. I am not a professional. I'm not a real analyst. All I do is just make comments about sports every once in a while. But might as well get to our college basketball. Um, Here in just a second. Here, make sure I get all my stuff right. Nope, touch that. we go. Now we're cooking with grease. All right, cool. So we'll talk a little bit of college basketball now. Obviously, we've got the college basketball corner three report for you guys right here live. Um, kind of an interesting week this week. There was a few great games on. Everybody's kind of getting ready for Feast Week coming up this year, or coming up this week, this next week specifically. There has been some stuff that has been going on, but there is some stuff that um, there are some games that happened this last week that were really interesting and really intriguing topic points as we go into Feast Week. Now, it's still November. We have to take everything with a little grain of salt, obviously, but a decent week overall. These decent games happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's talk Tuesday first. Before we get to Kansas, let's talk Michigan State, Kentucky. Michigan State beats the brakes off of Kentucky. Kentucky was supposed to be this great, phenomenal team, and here's the point that you want to make now with college basketball portal is if you have too much talent, there's not enough basketball for you to be able to share amongst everybody. It's very difficult to have a team that has a bunch of guys who need the rock to score. You see it all the time in the NBA happen. The Suns are a great example. You can have one or two guys that are going to be your rock guys, but then you need three to five guys that are more your glue guys that you're specific to help your stars out. But Kentucky's kind of going through this issue on who is going to be the one that is going to carry the team. Everybody thought he was going to take it away. He is playing like crap. Pope needs to figure something out. It is lucky that right now it is November, so he has a lot of time to figure it out. But Tom Izzo seems to have Michigan State rolling. They're 4-0, and they continue to have big wins. Now, since obviously I think P4 may be coming on here in a short little while, let's talk Duke, Kansas. Is Kansas in trouble? Let's pump the brakes just a little bit. Duke won the game. That's a fact. There's nothing to say against it. Cameron Boozer played well. I don't think he played as well as AJ has. Currently he has been a lot better in the vision category than AJ. But pure explosive in scoring. He did struggle some, and it seemed like he finally picked up his pace towards the second half there. We'll see. They're still young. It's only Game 5 in their season. Duke looks good. Sarr looks great. Actually, I was really impressed with Caden Boozer, too, just facilitating that offense, getting the rock to people who need the rock. So we'll have to wait and see on Duke, but they're my number 4 for my top 5. Kansas. No Darren Peterson. If you don't have your best player, you're not going to win basketball games. Simple as that. He's not going to Players Era Tour, which is a little bit scary. They play Notre Dame, which they should be able to handle, but then they play Syracuse and with Melo's kid Kyan on there, and they're pretty good too. And I could see us being, 4-3 coming out of the Players Era without DP. Now it is nice to see that these other guys around Trey White, Flory Badunga, Bryson Tiller didn't play as well as I was hoping he would, but he's still a great rotational piece. Cole Rosario, those guys are having time to develop and play without DP. So when DP comes back and just needs to score, you have reliant players around, which is something Kansas hasn't had in a while. That they hopefully will have some reliability on the outside perimeter shooting the basketball. And by the time we get to March, things will be fixed. Bill will figure this out. I know we've been saying that the last 2 years, and I was heavily off the KU basketball team last year with Hunter Dickinson. I thought they weren't going to be that good. They weren't that good. This year is different. They are struggling in the beginning, but I'd rather face really good competition and lose in November than lose in March because we didn't contest ourselves early on in November. Bill's figuring it out. We'll be just fine. The Big 12 is tough this year, man. It's going to be real tough, especially with Arizona, which I'll get to in just a minute, playing as well as they are. And Houston obviously playing really well as well. BYU, AJ, great team. Iowa State always great defense. You have so many teams to worry about in the Big 12 again this year that if they don't get DP back, it's going to be a rough season. They think that DP will be back. Hopefully for UConn, that's kind of the time frame. I think everybody's hoping that he'll be back. But without him, this team's in trouble. With him, I think it's okay that we took a few losses right here as long as he is healthy for the rest of the season. That was pretty much it for Tuesday. It was just our Champions Classic. On Wednesday, there was 2 great games. And Arizona kind of propelled themselves to probably my favorite basketball team to watch right now. Jaden Bradley played with 21 points. Koa Pete plays awesome. They've got a big man in the middle. They are a fun basketball team to watch play basketball. Like, and that's hard to say about a lot of these teams right now, especially a team like UConn where you have Dan Hurley with all his antics on the sidelines. And you could be a Dan Hurley guy, you cannot be a Dan Hurley guy. I think it's dumb that he does that. Especially, I hate what he did to the Maui Invitational last year because he went 0-3. He's like, I'm never playing in another one of these tournaments ever again. Whatever, Dan. Like, just go play like normal people would. But I get it. You don't want to risk having those losses early on in the season. But Arizona gets the win over UConn. Arizona looks great. I did move them up only to 3 just because Purdue and Houston have not made any mistakes. But I think that by the end of it, they will find themselves in the number 1 spot. Maybe in the AP poll coming out here soon. I think Purdue will still be ahead of them. But they do look like a huge threat in the Big 12 to not only win the Big 12, but to win the national championship. Alabama beat Illinois. I really like Illinois' team. They've got 5 foreign kids. Look like they play. Andres Stojakovic looks phenomenal. If you want to go watch, this guy can shoot the rock. He is a lot of fun to watch. Illinois just came up short against Alabama. LeBaron Fillon had 24 points to kind of ice the game for Alabama. He was kind of a guy that we thought maybe would go to the NBA last year, but then went and got some feedback from NBA scouts, came back, got his bag at Alabama, is now trying to improve his skills to be able to go somewhere higher in the draft. They get a huge win over here against Alabama gets it over Illinois. So it's really interesting to see specifically what's going on there. My current top 5, there's only been one change. I flipped UConn and Arizona. So I have Houston still at 1. They haven't proven. I know they had that close one against Auburn, and Purdue's looked really good, but I'm not moving Houston until they lose. Houston number 1, Purdue 2, Arizona at 3, Duke at 4, UConn at 5. So we'll have to wait and see specifically what happens in this next upcoming week. We got the Feast Week. You got the Players Era Festival, which will be a lot of fun. There will be basketball on all day, all night. You'll be able to just sit in your couch, grab your favorite beverage, and be able to watch a ton of good football as you are passed out from all the good Thanksgiving food that you guys eat. Shout out to everything going on specifically for the holidays. MLB, there's not much for the MLB. Obviously, we're still kind of in that early phases. Winter meetings are kind of maybe coming up here a little bit. I'm obviously not the MLB guy. Boys are, but I know there's a huge trade for the Mets. I'm sure they'll talk about that next week when they're on. But yeah, let's go to this UFC card. I did get to watch this. It was a great card. It was fun to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. Let's share this screen real quick so we can kind of go over the card from top to bottom. Denzel Freeman gets the win over Merrick Bujolo, unanimous decision. Denzel Freeman, good win. This is the weird heavyweight division, right? We talked about this heavyweight division, how Aspinall's at the top, and he kind of squeaked one out against Gunn. And there was the whole John Jones thing. Like, the heavyweight division used to be these sluggers, these juggernauts, these Ngannous, all these great heavyweight fighters, and now it's just kind of seeing this skid. Hopefully they can get that going. Denzel Freeman, not anywhere close to a title contender. Good win though. Nurulo Alev beat Shem Rock in a unanimous decision. Big win for him. Good for him being able to move up the ladder. Ishmael Naryadev beat Ryan Loder by knockout, first round knockout, in minute 26. Nice little knockout there for Ishmael. Bezkat Almakahan lost to Alexandre Topuria. If you don't know that last name, that is the champ's brother. He did win in a unanimous decision fight. Great fight all around here. Topuria continues to make his way up the rankings, and maybe we'll get to see a bantamweight Topuria champion again at some point. Abdul Rahman Yakayev beat Rafael Sequeira by submission in the first round. Very easy win for Abdul in that light heavyweight round. He is now 8-0, and that was his first UFC fight. 8-0, start maybe moving up this ladder a little bit. Maybe get to that early prelim, out of these early prelims into the up to a main prelim card. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Good win for Abdul though. Asu Almakbayev beat Alex Perez by submission in the third round. Asu has been really good. He got 23-3. He is on a 2-fight win streak after losing to Kopp. But he's continuing to make his way up the ladder as well. Nicholas Dalby, who I saw get knocked out by Randy Brown, got the win over Saigid Izagomedov by a split decision. Kind of a really close fight here. We'll have to wait and see kind of what P4 and them kind of think about this. But Dalby gets the win, kind of escaped. So it's cool to see him still doing his thing there in the welterweight. Luke Riley, huge knockout over Bogdan Grad. Luke Riley is like Patty Pitbull. Like kind of the same type of character. He's really, really, really good knockout. He's in the featherweight here. He is currently 11-0. That was his first UFC fight. So he is on his way up those rankings as well. Good thing at the performance of the night. Now we are in our main card. We got Koji Hiroguchi versus Tagir Ulabekov, and Koji ends up winning by submission in the third round. Good win by Koji here in the flyweight. It's kind of something interesting there going on as well. Waldo Cortez Acosta beat Shamil Gazayev in the first round. The performance of the night knockout by Acosta. Great win as well. Mikatek Orabai beat Jack Henderson by a knockout. Pretty vicious knockout. Kind of getting these, what we like to call around here, gatekeepers out of the way here in this welterweight. This welterweight's already kind of messed up. But adding another name in there as well as Orabai will be interesting to see. Unfortunately, Alonzo Merrifield lost to Volkan Ozdemir in the first round knockout. It was pretty ugly to see Alonzo lose there, but Ozdemir continues to find his way coming up. Now we get to the big boys, the big guns. We've got Ian Machado Gary beating Moal Muhammad. Machado Gary, I think a lot of people's opinions is he needs to win one more. In my opinion, he doesn't need to win one more. There's a log jam here at welterweight. You have to give some of these guys a chance. Okay? Yeah, you let Islam sit there. He wants to sit and rest and wait for somebody. But, like there's this huge log jam in welterweight. There are plenty of guys who deserve a chance right now. And Ian Machado Gary proved it yet again after he beat Prates, after he beat Bilal. He is the number one contender in this division. The other guy you can think of would be Shavkat, but he hasn't fought in how long? Like, because he can't get a passport to be able to work in the United States. Like, you gotta fight, bro, to be able to get this shot. They say, oh, he can fight JDM. No, bro, give JDM Michael Morales or Carlos Prates. Bring him into as another high elite gatekeeper-esque to that top of that part. But JDM still deserves maybe another chance at that title. He just looks so bad in that fight against Islam. Like, just terrible. Like, I just don't really see him recovering from that loss. He's going to lose to one of these other up-and-comers pretty horrifically, I think, and fall off for a while at least. Maybe come up eventually. But that grappling was horrible. But Machado Gary, to me personally, should be the next guy to get the fight against Islam. But again, I don't make the rules. And I'm not a real analyst, so what do I really know? In our main event, Arman destroyed Dan Hooker. Arman is the guy at lightweight to face Ilia Topuria. Arman is phenomenal. Hasn't lost a step. Dan Hooker lost a step. We'll have to wait and see. Ilia Topuria is a different nightmare, a different problem. And Arman is going to have to bring all of his showstoppings to be able to beat Ilia. But that's the fight to make. in the lightweight division is Arman versus Ilya for the title. So that was your UFC Fight Night. Next week, though, we do have a UFC 323 in the T-Mobile Las Vegas Arena. Got some good names on here. Early prelims, obviously, not as many here. Martin Ferrari versus Bruno Fernero. There's like your gatekeeper fight right there already. Marcy Barber and Karine Silva. Terrence McKinney and Grant Dawson. Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Gustaf. Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. You guys got the dot in the middle of his stomach. That'll be a really interesting fight. And then Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. These flyweights go at it. P4 always says that they got it there. I totally agree. But Brandon Moreno and Tatsuro Taira. And then we've got our co-main, Joshua Van, getting a shot against Pantoja. I obviously have Pantoja in this. I think Joshua Van maybe eventually becomes the champ, but I think Pantoja is just way too dominant of a fighter at the flyweight division to be giving the loss here. And then you got Petirian versus Merab. P4 was on here right now. He'd be saying, oh, great, we just get another takedown fest. You have to hold and whatever. And we're going to see a wrestling grappling fight here. We're not going to see standing. So I don't want to hear the UFC fans, boo, boo. You want to go watch boxing? Go watch boxing. Go watch boxing. It's mixed martial arts. People are going to wrestle. Okay? They're going to wrestle. Merab's going to just take them down and let them up. Take them down and let them up. And I think he's going to run circles around Jan. I don't know if there's anybody in that bantamweight right now that could even touch Merab. But I'm sure P4 main man for Way Out West would disagree on that statement. But that is your upcoming UFC fight. Yeah. And other than that, folks, I think that's going to almost wrap it up for the Dude Sports Podcast tonight. Only a short one today, about 45 minutes. Not too bad. You can put this on in your car as you're driving to work, to and from. Just a little bit of analysis there from your boy PC, who's not a real analyst, just here for the fun and the vibes. Thank you for everybody that's coming and hanging out. I don't know if we're going to get a surprise guest from P4, but I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the Dudes in Sports podcast. Normally, it was late night tonight. I had a little stuff going on. Usually, there's more homies here. Hopefully, no more homies will be here next week. But we are 9:30 Central, 7:30 for you West Coasters. And we will see you